Shooting out a gun, that's that's an assault rifle, bro. That's what it was, right? Whatever it was something really large, and you busting that in an apartment building, bro. It's like reckless. No, yo, to my subscribers in Sweden, yo, I pray for y'all. I really from my angle, but just shine light on the shit. So shout out Sweden. Shout out Sweden. One more time in case they ain't hear me. Shout out Sweden. Yo, Sweden, hope you feeling good. Hope you feeling great. Yo, Sweden, I had to block a fellow sweetie. Is that how you say it? Is that, am I saying it wrong? I don't know. Sweden. I blocked somebody from Sweden because they was talking crazy. Like, yo, if you know me and you dedicated, if you're new to the channel, I'm gonna tell you right now, I did 500 plus videos in 1 year. It's 365 days in 1 year, right? So just imagine that's a lot of work, right? That's a lot of time away from personal life, but that's just me focusing on a dream. This is the life I chose. That's a dream, right? Now, I from time to time, I'll get a comment from one of you guys that could be important. I'm a content creator. If something drastic happens in the world, if I'm doing a video, I might have to look at my phone. I have a personal life. Boy got in his feelings. He got in his feelings, try to go back and forth with me. I'm a female, boy. Control yourself. What's good with you? I'm a female. I'm gonna argue with you all day, but like, bro, be a man though. Like for real. I don't even like arguing back and forth with men. Like, what's wrong with you? If you don't like me being on my phone, do yourself a favor, bro. Go to another YouTube page. It's just that simple. I do not care. I promise you. Bye. My real subscribers, my day ones, they respect my work ethic. They know that I dedicate a lot of my time to YouTube. So if I decide to give out of an hour video, 10 minutes of phone time for my personal time, they ain't going to be mad at that because they know I'm only human. And what they going to do is be like, yo, TT, at 2:43, you missed something important. Go back and look at that. You know, you was on your phone, but, you know, shit, life happens. But go back and look at that. Those are the ones that's rocking with me. Those the family. You're lame. Bye, loser. Now, anyway, I thought that the violence in Sweden was going unnoticed. So that's why I keep shining light on it. But I ran into this YouTube video, and it's a man that's trying to stop the violence in Sweden. So let's get to it. Oreo. All right. Glad we got that out the way. Let's get to the point.
During these past few years, many innocent civilians as well as innocent family members of those involved have been targeted and fell victim to these excessive outbursts of violence. Whatever the Swedish police have tried over the years, they haven't been able to put a stop to it. However, it seems like one of Sweden's key players has decided to step up to the plate and make an end to it all. But will he be able to do that? This is the story of Mustafa Al-Jibouri, also known as Benzema, and his attempt to stop the violence in Sweden. I was investigating a new Swedish organisation called La Liga and found out that this was actually ran by Mustafa. After years of chaos in Sweden, it looks like he wants to do things differently with his organisation from now on. For those of you who haven't watched my video about him yet and are unfamiliar with who he is, Mustafa is one of the key players in Sweden's narcotics underworld. By the media, he is seen as an important member of the Foxtrot gang and as Foxtrot leader Rawa Majid's right-hand man. However, upon further investigation, this is not the case at all. Mustafa was never the right-hand man of Rawa Majid. Mustafa is also the mastermind behind faking his own death in an attempt to collect the bounty on his own head.
Yeah, I remember that. And he ended up actually passing away. And they was like, when they thought he was dead, they was celebrating with like fireworks and all types of, it was crazy, bro. It was crazy.
Which was insane. There's much more to his story, so be sure to check out the video on my channel. To understand his reason for setting up a new organisation and changing his way of working, we first have to explain the current situation in Sweden. Why does he want to do things differently? Let's dive into it. A lot has happened in the past few years in Sweden with regard to gang violence. Despite still being perceived as an affluent and peaceful country, the numbers don't lie. In 2020,
Yo, just to say this, right? In America, like our gangs, I just feel like our gangs are as reckless as you guys' gangs in Sweden. Like, you guys are throwing like grenades and shit. It's like, damn, like, are there no rules with Sweden gangs? Like, do you just throw a grenade in a building and not care that there could possibly be children around? Because that's insane. Like, on so many different levels.
2022, the number of shootings in Sweden reached a total of 391. This is the highest number observed in the period between 2017 and 2022. 62 of those shootings in 2022 were fatal, which was an increase of 17 fatal shootings in Sweden compared to the previous year. But that's just the shootings. The amount of bombings has surged at the same pace as well, both putting innocent Swedish people at risk of becoming a victim. Despite there being many aggressors causing these numbers, one is most often mentioned by the Swedish news outlets. His name is Rawa Majid. Born in 1986 in Iran to Iraqi parents, he first touched soil in Sweden at just a few months old. It is known that he has been involved in narcotic smuggling as early as 2010. However, it wasn't until 2020 that he became known as the top drug smuggler of Sweden, after police were able to hack into the encrypted messaging database he used. Prior to this,
Yeah, I remember I was watching a video when all of them was using that app and they thought that they wasn't going to get hacked and found out about. Like, listen, whatever the government put out there, they have access to it, bro. I'm telling you.
attack, Swedish police were unaware of how big Rawa really was in the Swedish smuggling world. But how did he operate? Well, by now, Rawa Majid is better known as the Kurdish Fox, leader of the Foxtrot gang. The core members of the gang can be identified by their gold.
Oh, that's gangster. That's gangster. Shout out Sweden. That's gangster. I like that. I ain't gonna lie, it's gangster. I just like the ring, the idea of it being a fox, gold. That's fire.
And fox rings and chains they wear. The Foxtrot gang mainly focused on bringing in large shipments of drugs into Sweden and then sell them on to other gangs. They are also notorious because they do not shy away from using excessive violence. Rawa and his Foxtrot gang were involved in several heated feuds that turned Sweden upside down. One of those was the feud with the Bandidos, another gang in Sweden. Reason for the feud? 2 large shipments of drugs that were seized by Swedish police on February 11th and 14th of 2022. Both parties couldn't agree on who was to blame and who would cover the lost shipments. It would go tit for tat, with some of the most notable actions being that of the
Yeah, I was just about to say, so who do you blame in that situation? Like, damn, how did they even get caught? Well, oh yeah, it could have been the app. You're right, my bad. You're right.
4th of March, when an innocent barber was taken out. The man drove in his white Mercedes near the Bandidos clubhouse as 17-year-old Peter Hassan Haji stopped next to him and riddled him with bullets. Police suspected the victim to be innocent. They think the hit was aimed at someone of the Bandidos who drove a white Mercedes. 2 weeks after this hit, Rawa ordered his troops to get ready for new action against the Bandidos, and so they did. On the 28th of March, a young man can be seen running into a gym and downwards into the staircase.
Yeah, I remember this.
It's evident that he came with a mission. Let's look at the video.
Yo, look how sloppy it is too. Like, this how you know they're hiring kids to do, not hiring, but yeah, it's kids. Like, nobody in their right mind just walk in the spot. Like, bro, you making it mad hot. Like, and why were everybody just standing around? Like, is that normal in Sweden? Somebody walk in with a gun in a business and everybody just stand around like, oh, he ain't coming here for me. Like, what? Nobody's panicking, nothing. Yo, he can't even get out. Like, this is the sloppiest hit I've ever seen.
The young man could be seen going downstairs into the gym area. Here is where he struck someone, and you can see bystanders running up the stairs in total panic. Shortly after, the shooter ran up the stairs again. He even tried to escape through the wrong door before someone guided him in the right direction.
Yo, I'm screaming. That never gets old. Not somebody guided him in the right direction. I probably would have helped the killer too. It's like, I want you to kill me next. Go that way.
His mission? To remove a highly ranked Bandidos member who was in the gym as well. The end result? He had struck Frederick, a totally innocent man who did not survive. The hitter was just 16 years old when he did it. While all this was happening, Rawa himself remained at bay in Turkey. In 2023, there was yet another feud he was involved in. This time, it was with Mikael Tenezos, also known as the Greek, and his Darlin gang. Swedish crime journalists have said that the feud stems
Darling gang? sound like they might be crazy. Just because the name Darling. Like, you think Darling, like, oh, my darling, that's cool. But it's probably like reverse psychology. Like, nah, ain't nothing cool about us, bro. I'm telling you.
From a battle over the supply of narcotics in the city of Sundsvall. The city of Sundsvall was long supplied by the Darling gang. Rawa Majid's Foxtrot gang has tried to muscle
Oh, Darling. Darling? Yo, I thought he was saying Darling, I swear.
themselves in on the Sundsvall market, which led to the start of the feud, as the Darling gang was not going to let that happen. However, it should be noted that it is also reported that it was actually the Foxtrot gang that had control over the city of Sundsvall, and that the Darling gang tried to force its way in. Either way, it had become a battle for turf, and it definitely has not been something we've seen before in Sweden. In the first 26 days of this year, 2023,
It's just so crazy, though. You see how he just said we never seen like nothing like this in Sweden. How Sweden was doing so good, and then just a matter of years, it's like a switch. And it's like they're saying that it's the migrants, but then I'm getting some comments saying that no, it was gonna get that way because the youth and stuff like that don't have much to do. But I don't know who to blame. I just find it just so crazy, the switch. It's almost like, is this something that we're not looking into? Is it like a hidden agenda? Like, did they purposely, like, did a person just come to Sweden and say, I'm gonna have to just fuck this shit up? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have two different gangs, right? I'm gonna take their drugs and they're gonna kill each other, and we're gonna watch them kill each other. That could have been it. I don't know. Could have been part of their plan. Because they don't care about us, so who knows?
there had already been 13 bomb attacks, meaning there was one attack every 2 days.
That's
A
crazy.
lot of them were credited to this
One attack every 2 days is crazy. This is what I'm saying. Like, and I would like in America, bro, it's not that consistent. You might get clapped Monday. Niggas might try to spin the block. Most likely you ain't gonna be around, duh. So they gonna miss you Tuesday, and they gonna let it cool down. That's why they say, yo, it's hot. It's too hot right now. I mean, it's too hot. Y'all niggas literally spin the block the next day. Like, bro, you don't think the person that's possibly involved is already investigated? But it's because they have no respect for law enforcement or like the authority, because the authority be moving soft, bro.
feud. One of the most
crazy.
notable attacks was on the 21st of January 2023. The video shows an apparent teenager, and you can hear his young voice briefly, armed with a Kalashnikov, stand in front of a door as he takes his time to load the firearm. He aims at the door and unleashes 15 bullets right through the door. The apartment
Yep, I seen that, and I was like, yo, shooting out a gun, that's an assault rifle, bro. That's what it was, right? Whatever it was something really large, and you busting that in an apartment building, bro. It's like reckless. No, yo, to my subscribers in Sweden, yo, I pray for y'all. I really do. Cause that shit sound like a war. No, it is. You guys are living in a war. Like, I'm glad that you guys can watch me and just hopefully just kind of, I don't know, man, feel normal. You should, because America sucks too. You know, we all going through it. Life is life. You know, it's not this bad though. Not this bad though. But what worries me is the switch. It wasn't always this bad with y'all. So now I'm worried like, damn, America could be good one day, then boom. Shit.
was home to the ex-girlfriend of rapper Thrife, who is said to be linked to the Greek. Rapper Thrife, however, was
Oh, I think I heard some songs from him. Drop some songs from him that I could listen to. I think I heard a few songs from him though. Right? I think I did. If you've been here for a while, let me know. If you a day one, you kind of know, then let me know. But I'm gonna listen to him.
not in his apartment. His ex-girlfriend and a young child were. It's instances like these that show the ruthlessness of how the Foxtrot gang have been operating. Compared to other crime regions I've covered, there don't seem to be any boundaries in
Definitely.
Sweden. Revenge isn't just taken out on the people directly involved. In Sweden, they go after parents, partners, siblings, and so on. Another prime example coming up shortly, so stay with me. Besides all the feuds that Awa was engaged in, there was also trouble brewing within his own Foxtrot gang. The past few months have shown the Foxtrot gang wasn't as tight as they used to be. In fact, a conflict had arisen within the gang itself, which led to members turning against each other. Ismail Abdo, also known as Strawberry,
That's money, I'm telling you. Whenever it be like issues within like an organization, a gang, a group of friends, a team, whatever, it's always money. You know what I mean? Or it could have been like you say. You see how, well, like he said, you see how like they got caught with the drugs. The government came, took their drugs. It could have been pointing a finger game. You the reason. You the reason. You the reason. And now once the beef starts within the gang, oh, it gets even crazier. it gets even crazier because now not only are they killing each other amongst themselves, they're still killing the people outside of the gang. So it just gets crazy, man. Thoughts and prayers, bro.
Once a close confidant of Rawa and labelled as his right-hand man had broken with Rawa after a personal dispute. Word on the street is that Rawa had stolen Ismail's stash worth several millions.
Yo, it's funny. I like how he said word on the street. It's funny. I don't know. I thought that was like an American term. That's funny. Word on the street. Yo, Sweden, drop some slang. Drop some slang y'all be saying, but translate it to English though, please. Thank you.
This betrayal in turn led to a furious Ismail, who sought revenge for the theft and went after everyone related to Rawa and his gang. Rawa in his turn would strike back even more aggressive. This feud would cause a lot of violence and destruction in Sweden yet again, though it started off in Turkey on the 6th of September 2023. On CCTV footage, it could be seen that two men arrive on a moped. One of them hopped off and fired several.
That's what they do in Sweden. If it's not an electric scooter, I guess now it's a moped. That's crazy. Look at this. Like, how can you?
On CCTV footage, it could be seen that two men.
Look at this. This is like some Grand Theft. Not even. They don't. You can't even do this in Grand Theft Auto. You can't just get on the moped with somebody and just get out. Can you? I've never done that.
Arrive on a moped. One of them hopped off and fired several shots towards 5 people, members of the Foxtrot gang. These 5 people in turn fired back, and no one was seriously injured. As immediate revenge for the shooting, the 60-year-old mother of Ismail Abdo was taken out just a day later. Though we've seen a lot of unprecedented blows already, this is a good depiction of how ruthless Rawa and his gang were. Not even someone's mother was safe. 4 days later, there was another shooting. This time it was aimed at Rawa's mother-in-law. A man repeatedly knocked on her.
No way. The mother? Oh no, this is crazy. Nah, this is definitely worse than America. Definitely.
Door.
For sure. Okay, damn. I really feel bad. This is horrible.
However, she did not open. After a few minutes, the man shot at her apartment and fled. Had she opened that door, she most likely would have not survived. Ismail's plan failed. Then, 2 days after that shooting, a man was taken out in the stairwell of his apartment building. Upon further investigation, it was determined that the man, Mogos, did not have any connection to the conflict and was at the wrong place at the wrong time. The intended target was a family member of Rawa. These insane amounts of violence, paired with the total ruthlessness, caused those directly involved, the gang members, to flee the country. The previous attacks have shown that since the key role players in the feud couldn't get to each other, they decided to go after their family members. This led to some of their family members and other relatives fleeing the country as well for their own safety. I can't sleep at night because I don't know if my front door is going to explode or if someone crazy is going to enter and shoot us. We are absolutely terrified, said an anonymously interviewed family member who has nothing to do with the feud except being family to someone involved. This feud caused further.
Yo, this is a fact. Y'all remember one time? During my younger years, I used to hang out with a bunch of gang members, I mean, you are around what you around, you feel me? So one time, one of them had gotten to some shit. And I remember another one of the homies was like, yo, TT, delete all those pictures because their ops are now going to be your ops just because you in that picture. Their police problems is now going to be your police problem just because you're in that picture. So I say this to say, you can be guilty just by association. You can get yourself hurt. So just be careful when you taking pictures or when you just out here moving with certain people that if you're not involved in that lifestyle, just try to stay away from it because you can get caught up into some shit for no reason.
Division within the underworld of Sweden, leading to a shift in gangs that were allies of each other. For example, Rawa's Foxtrot gang were once close with the Zero Network. I've made a video about them as well. However, as the feud went on, the Zero Network decided to switch sides and now became loyal to Ismail's gang. This is just one of the many examples of allies proving to be unreliable in times of these conflicts. It didn't take long before Mustafa Benzema Al-Jibouri, who then was still a member of the Foxtrot gang, would become a target as well. On the 25th of September, just a few minutes past 9 in the evening, an explosion went off in the stairwell of an apartment building in Hässelby. It wasn't some small explosion. This explosion was very powerful. It was made and placed with the intent to cause serious harm to the targeted apartment and potentially even the people inside. A CCTV camera captured the sound of the explosion. Let's listen to it. Pictures of the aftermath show that the explosion did not only damage the front door of the building, but also the back door. The doors were quite literally blown away on both sides. 3 people had gotten hurt and were taken to the hospital. Luckily, none of them was seriously injured. It turned out that this attack was aimed at Mustafa's family members. The crime scene in Hasselby wasn't even cleaned up yet when there was already another explosion just 9 hours later, this time in Linköping, almost 300 kilometers away from Hasselby. It was 6 in the morning when residents were abruptly shaken out of their bed by an explosion so ferocious that the entire front of the apartment building flew off. The bomb was
OMG, that is insane.
placed in the stairwell of the building once again. After the explosion, you could see the inside of one of the apartments. All the residents of the building were immediately evacuated and taken to a nearby gymnasium for their own safety. According to the bomb squad that arrived on the scene, the building was so damaged that certain parts could collapse completely. Despite the magnitude of the explosive, only 2 women suffered minor injuries. It could have been way worse. Local Linköping police officer Ann-Christine Renström could not yet confirm that the attack was directly related to the Foxtrot gang feud, but I can tell you it was. The intended
Yo, I'm weak. His snitching ass. He said, well, I could tell you it was. The police don't know nothing about it, but I can tell you it was. How you know? Police don't. How you know? Yo, these YouTubers be knowing more than the fucking police. That's crazy. He said, I could tell you it was.
target was once again related to Mustafa. This time, it was the family member of his wife, with the attack being per the orders of Ismail Abdo. With the rising amount of brazen attacks, it was only a matter of time before more people unrelated to the feud would become the victim. On the 27th of September, it happened again. A major explosion that
Bless up. You know what I mean? It's 10/10. So 10/10, I was born on 10/10, October 10th. So whenever I see 10/10, those are my angel numbers. So I always gotta bless myself and, you know, just thank God that he's talking to me because I see my angel number. So I had to do that. Drop that comment, hit that subscribe.
took place in Uppsala, destroying several homes. The intended target was a relative of Rawa. Instead, a 24-year-old woman who lived in a neighboring house and had nothing to do with the ongoing conflict did not survive the blast. This was per the orders of Ismail, and those directly involved started to say that Ismail only managed to take out innocent civilians and not those directly related to the feud. In the entire month of September, there had been 11 fatal shootings, many of which were attributed to the feud between Rawa and Ismail. It marked the worst month for the country since records began in 2016. On the 5th of October, news broke that Rawa Majid was arrested in Iran. The arrest took place in connection to some kind of traffic control stop, and it may be false ID documents that led to his arrest. Questions were immediately asked. Among those were, first of all, was he really arrested? What would this mean for him, and would he be extradited back to Sweden? Thus far, there are still no answers to these questions. It has been noticeably quiet around him ever since the news was reported, with some even speculating that Rawa Majid is finished as one of the top players of Sweden. At the end of November, a video was posted online of him enjoying himself in a club. It's uncertain when this video was taken.
Oh, I'm about to say, he living his best life. What's happening?
And here's where it gets interesting. As I've mentioned before, all this time Sweden news outlets have reported on the fact that Mustafa Al-Jibouri, also known as the real Benzema, was the possible successor of Rawa Majid for the Foxtrot gang. This was because he was perceived as this new right-hand man after Ismail Abdo had left. However, after delving deeply into the matter, we can debunk that information. Mustafa and Rawa met in prison 12 years ago and have been business partners for a long time. Mustafa was never Rawa's right-hand man, but more so an equal partner. He has taken a step back from the Foxtrot gang some time ago and has started his own organisation called La Liga. The name of the organisation derives from a police operation against Mustafa that started at the end of 2022. Police called this operation Operación La Liga and managed to catch several associates, shooters and drug stashers of Mustafa. I guess he found the name fitting and decided to adopt it for his new organisation. Information shows that with his organisation, he wants to change the current state of the underworld and its continuous violence in Sweden. In our research into La Liga, we managed to get in contact with Benzema and asked him if he wanted to reply to anything about what we had found on his organisation. This is what he personally had to say. This is a message from Benzema to everyone in Sweden. If anyone attacks families or civilian people or any kind of innocent people, they will have problems with me. In November, I started my own organisation and many people left Foxtrot to follow me and also many groups joined me. It is still
Bullshit. He said, yo, I left and did my own thing. Bullshit. You know what I mean? You can't keep riding off in the same niggas' wave. Eventually, you gotta have your own shit going on. You feel me?
growing because I have a vision. The La Liga rules are we don't attack civilians or families no matter what. We don't steal or rob anyone, as
I like those rules. I like those rules, man, because families ain't got nothing to do with it. Y'all the ones signed up for that crazy lifestyle. Leave the family out of it, man. Leave the innocent kids. Y'all just throwing bombs and shit. It could have been a baby. Oh, my goodness. Sweden, Sweden, Sweden. Thoughts and prayers, Sweden. Thoughts and prayers.
we work hard to make money. We help people that need help. If one of us needs help, we all stand up with him and give him money to lift him up. If anyone that works with us goes to prison, we help their families. It's an obligation. Most important is that we are very strong, but are not looking for problems. That's why we feed everyone that works with us, and nobody treats their workers in a bad way and use them like all other leaders did before, just taking advantage of everyone to get rich alone. I am going to change Sweden from being a country of terrorism to making it calm and make people work together and focus on money, instead of taking out each other's families. I'm working hard on this thing.
See, man. Good morals, man. Good morals that he left with the gang, you know? If the gang just followed these rules and everything would be cool for the most part.
And I'm sure that I will succeed. After this war between Rawa Majid and Ismail Abdo, people got tired of all the shootings and bombings. People need to make money and have a normal life. At least their families need to have a normal life. So, for this reason, La Liga, team of number 9 Benzema, will be the biggest in Sweden and will be like nothing that someone's seen before. It's growing really very fast. His statement on the current situation in Sweden is clear. To back his own words, he also calls a halt to the violence via social media posts. For example, by posting the following message after yet another attack. So cowardly to attack innocent families and civilians who have nothing to do with this. Greetings from Benzema to all the young people. Whatever they offer you to blow things up, I'll pay double if you stay away from that shit. Think of your own families who could be affected. Also, don't let anyone manipulate you into involving families in the crime. It's not often that a former confidant takes such an aggressive stance against his old group and their ways. Rumours that many key players in the underworld of Sweden are done with the violence caused by these feuds have been doing its rounds for quite some time now. Everybody knows that feuds and constant tumult attract unwanted attention of news outlets and the police. This in turn is bad for business and negatively impacts the money these gangs can make. At the end of the day, that's all that matters for them. It leaves us with a lot of questions. The ones I have are, is a new time coming? Will we see an actual change in the underworld of Sweden? Will the gang-related crimes fall?
Are the police gonna be scared every time? Like y'all gotta be more aggressive. I don't feel like the police are aggressive. I really don't. I feel like the police are not aggressive and they should be just a little bit more aggressive. I'm not gonna hold you.
Will Ismail and Rawa agree, or will they strike back against Mustafa? And lastly, will there be no more innocent victims? We'll have to see, because on the 17th of November, there was yet another shooting. At around 5 o'clock in the evening, the police were warned by residents who heard shots being fired. Upon their arrival, police found a man with shot wounds. The man, 35 years old, was taken to the hospital by ambulance, but unfortunately, he did not make it. After further investigation, the man was deemed to be a high-ranking criminal from the Swedish city Västerås. As immediate revenge for this act, a bomb attack was carried out 4 days later. However, the bomb didn't actually go off.
Oh, good. I'm about to say, what is it with the bomb attacks? Like, sheesh.
Right past midnight, police were alerted about a potentially dangerous object laying in the stairwell of an apartment building. Forensic technicians and bomb technicians were called on site to investigate and neutralize the suspected object. Residents of the building had to be evacuated from their homes via their windows. It took several hours before the dangerous object had finally been refused. We don't know yet what it is, but it looks unmistakably like it was meant to explode or instill fear, said Ola, police press spokesperson. Had it gone off, it could potentially have caused innocent victims once again. It's safe to say that it will take significant time for the situation in Sweden to change. As I've said in the beginning of the video, the numbers don't lie. All we can do is keep a close eye on the situation.
All we can do is pray up, man, and y'all gotta stay safe in Sweden.
With most of the key role players living abroad, it will remain hard for them to take each other out, thus leaving those around them vulnerable for retaliation. If you like the video, please be sure to leave a like, a comment sharing your thoughts.
I got you, I did like this video. Y'all like my video, alright? Drop that comment, subscribe for the vibe. Shout out Sweden.